Alright, first thing you need when you are cooking in the kitchen is a clean sink. Hey, Kellen here, and I am bringing you some quick tips for cooking, especially if you like that homemade, but you gotta do it quick food. And so one of my signature dishes that I am great at that I'm gonna bring to you today is fish. Fish. Oh yeah. I love doing fish. And you know, if you're a fish eater, I'm more of a seafood eater myself. You love doing fish and you know, you want to do it fresh, right? So what I like to do, I go to the international market close by, you know, you pick one, and I pick out my fish. They can do all the killing and cutting and all that. If you want it even cheaper, you can buy the already dead fish. Tilapia right now in South Florida is like $2.99 a pound. So that's a great deal for you to get your fish on. And if you want to, you know, buy it fresh, it's like, you know, I think $6.99 to $8.99 a pound. The first step in doing anything is making sure you wash your hands. I wash my hands beforehand. Now I'm going to get my hands dirty, and I'm going to get it dirty. Even though the fish has been cleaned and, you know, gutted out and all that, I still am going to wash it because that's just a proper thing to do. I saw them spray it with the big hose. I like to still wash my fish, and I hope you wash your meats too, because it won't hurt for you to have a clean, you know, area. You also need that, but also to have clean food. You know, I think it's disrespectful to yourself and to anybody you're serving if you do not clean your area and your food. I mean, who wants to eat, you know, some nasty guck under your fingernails or something maybe at the fish store they didn't get? Like there's, I'm gonna show you. There's this little film that comes underneath, you know, sometimes when you're getting the fish and you're like, hold on, what is that? And it's just some extra gook, and I don't know how, let me see if I can show you. Stuff like this, I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat that. I don't want to cook that, even more importantly. So when I'm doing my fish, I'm getting all that stuff out of there. That's how I like to do it, because I want to get the best of the fish. I want to get the best of the taste, depending on what type of meats you like to cook. You know, certain things, it's just, I mean, you don't have to clean it like chitlins, but I don't want that. I don't want that. That's not going to cook right. That's not going to cook tight. And I'm going to do this whole bag, and you don't have to be with me for the whole time. But what I will show you is, while I'm rinsing off, you know, and washing a couple pieces, what I like to do while I'm doing that, I like to take my knife, I will shank a fish, and I want to cut right here in between my fish, because I want the fish to be able, the seasoning I put in it, I want it to get everywhere. Like, the problem with fish when you're getting it from fast food, right? Most of it is fried. And here in Florida, we're spoiled that we can get it, you know, everything grilled. And that's an option if you ask for it. Even at some of your best fried places that aren't like Popeyes, right? You can get some stuff grilled. But I want to get that seasoning inside, because I don't want all my seasoning to be on the outside. Then when you get to the meat of the fish, where's your flavor? You know, especially depending on how you're cooking it. So I want to have that flavor inside the fish. I think the best part is when you can get that seasoning that you put, and we're going to get into that, even inside the head. And yes, we cook the whole fish over here. You know, I don't eat the eyeballs, but all this good meat inside of here, I want to get all of that. All that good deliciousness. That's half the fish in the Coleman house. So, you know, we eat the whole fish, and I know many of you do. And if you don't eat the whole fish and you're like grossed out, you can say, hey, you know, at the store, they ask you, do you want the whole head? I always say that's half the fish. Of course I want the whole head. So, you know, do you want the head? Yes. Sometimes they confuse me as a just an American and not an American sous chef that has African roots and, you know, really knows flavor, really knows food. Now, what type of seasoning you like is all up to you. I'm going to give you some quick tips on what I like to do for seasoning, because it is just so easy to get a seasoned fish. You know, back in the day, we would take the onions, we would take our peppers, have an assortment, make it look like the Cameroon flag with the yellow, with the green, with the red, you know, have your peppers. But what I like to do now is use the pre-made stuff that's already been blended when I'm in a hurry. I can still go old school, and you have various brands. This is probably the hit. This brand right here, this Nicky's, a gentleman from the Caribbean put me on to this, said this is really good stuff. I said, bruh, I gotta come back and thank you. I haven't seen him since at Food Town in West Palm, but if you know who you were, I appreciate you for putting me on to this stuff, because this was a hit when I had a whole family, you know, over 10 people cooking for, and I'm like, hey, I gotta show out, because this is my African from Africa side. I gotta show out. They know the difference between, you know, okay and good fish, because, you know, if you've been to Africa or you've been to the Caribbean, you know the difference. It's just that. So I use that stuff but I also will throw on some lemon pepper. Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw the yellow lemon pepper. I'm gonna throw in some garlic powder. Okay, I'm going to always use, because if I don't, my wife can taste it, some Maggi. And sometimes I use the liquid, sometimes I use the powder, depending on how quick. But this whole seasoning, like when you get your fish, I season everything first, even if I'm not going to cook it all, because I'll freeze it with the seasoning. And it's kind of like, you know, if you were frozen and then thawed out later on, like, you know, you've heard that for the future, right? And we'll be able to come back and won't know what's going on, like an inmate. But I like to do that to my fish so that flavor is still there. Also, I'm going to use some garlic salt now, and I'm going to use a little bit of seasoned salt. I want you, when you're seasoning it with salt, to remember, don't put too much on. Don't put too much on where people will taste it, because I'm also going to use a little bit of celery salt so I don't have to blend up any celeries. Even though all these things have a little of that in there, I like to do my own. Now I'm going to give you a secret ingredient. Whether you like to use it before or after, that's on you. But this fish and meat sauce, this is a hit too. With these, if I can pick them all up at the same time, with these 3 ingredients, your audience is gonna know you can cook a little better. Like, they're gonna say, what'd you put in that? And, you know, you can tell them or not. I don't really see things as secrets. I like to share the game. Now, I'm going to wash all my fish, and I'm not gonna make you guys watch all of that, but you might say, well, okay, I'm there, what am I gonna use for a side? Plantain banana is always our side. We like the sweet, ripe ones, you know, but the plantain banana, I got so many over here. Let me see if I can show you. We got plantain banana for plantain banana, and you can do this old school. Fry it, You can use your air fryer. Hold on, let me come over here. I got the trusty Ninja over here, air fryer. Throw this stuff in there. It's gonna air fry good. Or we can come right here on the stove. Oh, don't lose me. Don't lose me. We can come right here on the stove and get down with the air fried plantain banana. So I'm gonna do all that, but until then, you know, let me wash up all the fish, season everything. I'm gonna come back and show you when I season it what's going down. All right, so after you do the fish, let me know. I can do another video on how I do the plantains, and I'd love to hear, do you want me to do them on the grill? You want me to do them on the Ninja, where I'll probably do today's fish? Also, with your fish, let me know if you want me to do a video on what else you can make with it. I freeze these in my freezer, and this is Daddy's famous African pepe. This is habaneros, this is fresh tomato, this is real celery, this is basil, cilantro, this is Maggi. This is everything you could think of, and then blend it up, and this is great stuff. If you like pepe, I'm gonna be selling this in a bottle or at a restaurant. Maybe I make it exclusive that you have to come to the restaurant to do it. But this stuff is hot. It's not hot, it's hot. So, you know, you gotta have that palate. I get it. It's not for everybody, but neither is great cuisine. This is KELLEN, aka Daddy Dolphin. Man, I love making food for the family, for friends. People come over. Check this out. Everybody doesn't have friends. Everyone doesn't have family. It's a blessing to have all that. Actually, when your friends become your family, that's even a more blessing. Some people can't connect. You know, you might not have all the money in the world, but you got all the wealth in the world if you got your health and if you got good people around you. So be blessed out there. Make sure you share the game, like the game, and tell me what you liked. If you had a better way of doing something, you know, there's always a couple of those folks say, hey, but if you do it this way, I'm all ears. I'm open to hear. You know, let's go. All right. Now, I had refrigerated this. And now I'm gonna pour over the fish and meat sauce that I like to marinate it with. This is the secret ingredient. One of them. Also, again, for my wife's taste, especially have to pour over some of that Maggi. Then you gotta work it in. Gotta have magic hands. You know, you gotta be smooth with it. Gotta have magic hands. You gotta get in it. You gotta enjoy it. And your food will be enjoyed when you do that. Yeah. You gotta mix all that in. Just let it sit, you know what I mean? Just let it sit in there and get all that. You can smell it. It smells so good. It smells so good. Ready to go. Let it sit in the refrigerator maybe a couple more hours until you're really ready to eat. Because once you get to the Ninja, you are pretty much ready to go. It does what it does for you. Be blessed.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stretch the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from KELLEN Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.